If you're looking for some game day appetizer ideas, I have got you covered. Hey y'all, I'm Valerie and welcome to my kitchen. In today's video, I'm sharing 5 delicious appetizer recipes that everyone's gonna love. Okay y'all, let's get started.
These BBQ Chicken Sliders were a huge hit. So to make them, in a large bowl, you're going to add in 3 cups of cooked shredded chicken. Oh, and if you'd rather dice your chicken up, that's fine too. I also added half a cup of cooked chopped bacon and 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. Now we're going to add 1 cup of your favorite barbecue sauce. And I started to stir it and remembered I had one more thing to add in, half a cup of French fried onions. And y'all, these really take these sliders to the next level. Now we're going to give all this a really good stir until it's well combined. I do want to apologize for sounding a little under the weather here, but I'm just getting over the flu, and let me tell you, it was rough. I'm using a smaller baking sheet here. I did line it with foil. I think it's like a 7 by 11, but anything these sliders will fit in. I'm using the 12 count Hawaiian rolls, and I did cut them in half horizontally, and I removed the tops and set those aside. Now you're going to add all of that chicken mixture to the bottom of those rolls there and spread it out into an even layer all the way to the edges. Then you can go ahead and put those tops back on, and I kind of pressed them down just to make sure they were on there good. I've got 4 tablespoons of melted butter here, and I'm just brushing them all on the top of those rolls. Now these go into the oven to bake, uncovered, at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. Until everything is completely heated through and those tops are golden brown. These were absolutely delicious. Perfect appetizer for anything you need a party food for. Hey, these would even be good to make for an easy weeknight dinner. Oh, and you can also make that chicken mixture ahead of time and then refrigerate it, and when you're ready to make them, just assemble them and go ahead and bake them. We all loved these, and I think you will too. These bacon cheeseburger crescent bites were definitely a new favorite. I've got 1 pound of lean ground beef in a large skillet, and I'm just breaking that up, and I'm letting it cook until it's completely cooked through. Now I'm just using a paper towel to get rid of most of that grease. Now we're going to season this up with 1 tablespoon of hamburger seasoning. And I'm just using the Kinder's Burger Blend. You're also going to add in 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce and 1 cup of cooked chopped bacon. I'm just using the real bacon pieces in the bag here. Now you're going to add in 8 ounces of the Velveeta melting cheese. And I went ahead and cubed mine up, that way it would melt a whole lot easier. Now you're just going to stir this around, and I let it cook on medium-low heat until it was all melted. Now you can go ahead and use this now, but I made this mixture the night before and I let it completely cool, then I popped it in the refrigerator until I was ready for it the next day. I'm using my nice new really big cookie sheet here. I love it. Okay, the recipe calls for 2 8-ounce cans and 1 4-ounce can of Crescent rolls. I have a tendency of overfilling things, so right now I went ahead and opened 2 of those cans, and I'm going to save that last one just in case I need it. But I'll go ahead and tell you I did not use that one. Okay, you're going to unroll the Crescent rolls, and then you're going to separate them into triangles, and then we're going to cut each triangle in half to make 2 thinner triangles. And you can use a knife to do this, but I find it way easier to do with a pizza cutter. And you'll see here I tried to kind of stretch the triangle out a little bit just to make it a little bit wider because I am going to cut it in half. And you're just going to cut each triangle in half and continue until you've used up all that crescent dough. Now here's that hamburger mixture that I have refrigerated. I didn't let it come to room temperature. I didn't heat it up or anything. I just used it as is. And I did use a cookie scoop for this, just to try to get everything the same size. So I just scooped little portions of that mixture and I just dropped it straight onto the crescent roll. And then you're just going to roll it up or wrap it around it. And they do not have to be perfect. I will say that I did learn a little bit doing this. I'm not sure how well it would work if that mixture was warm because it was kind of falling out of the crescent rolls. But then I got the idea to kind of press it and pack it down into like a little ball there. And that seemed to work better. It was much easier to roll up that way. I wasn't worrying about everything falling out of the crescent rolls. So after you get them all rolled up, I brushed each crescent roll with a little bit of egg wash. And this is completely optional, but I sprinkled on some sesame seeds. Now these go into the oven to bake at 375 for 15 to 18 minutes. Or until they're nice and golden brown. These were a winner for sure. My daughter Lacey is a little picky, but she loved these. And this is definitely one that I'll be making again because we all loved them. I loved the bacon in there and that hamburger seasoning. These were just perfect. I had to try these Cheddar Bay sausage balls. I love any kind of sausage balls, but when I seen Cheddar Bay Biscuit mix and pimento cheese, I knew I had to make them. In the bowl of my stand mixer, I added 1 pound of sausage. You can use spicy if you prefer, and 12 ounces of pimento cheese. Now we're going to add in an 11.36 ounce box of the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay Biscuit mix. You're just going to add in that dry mix there and the little seasoning packet. And now we're just going to mix all this together until it's just combined. By the way, if you're new, I would really love to have you here. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. That way you get notified of all my future videos. Oh, and you just want to mix this until no dry flour remains. You'll need a cookie sheet. I'm using my big one for this, and I do have mine lined with a silicone liner. Or you can line it with parchment paper, and I'm using a cookie scoop. It's the 1.5 tablespoon size. And I am not even rolling these into a ball. I'm just scooping them directly onto the cookie sheet there. Now these are going into the oven to bake at 375 for 18 to 20 minutes. You'll want to make sure they're golden brown and completely cooked through. And I ended up getting a total of 44 for this. These were delicious. I will say though, these were a little more on the bready side versus having more sausage. But Craig is not a huge fan of sausage and he loved these. They were really soft, and I wanted to show you here, they're not as dense as your regular sausage ball. And they were super easy to make. Definitely ones we'll be making again. These chili cheese chicken wonton cups were so good. And this recipe makes 36, so I'm using 3 of the muffin tins. You're also going to need some wonton wrappers. You'll need 36, and I found this package at Walmart. And I've never used the wonton wrappers, so I was really excited to try them. And I just wanted to spray the muffin tins here with a little nonstick spray. Now these wrappers are very, very thin, so you'll want to make sure you separate them and not get too stuck together. And they're actually really easy to work with. I just grabbed one of those wrappers and pressed it into the cup there and just kind of form a cup. It does not have to be perfect, you just want to be able to fill that cup up. And you're going to do this until you filled up all those 36 muffin tins. Now we're going to pre-bake these in the oven at 350 for about 5 minutes. And while those are in the oven baking, I'm going to start on the filling. So in a large bowl, I started out by adding 1 cup of ranch dressing. And I just kind of eyeballed this, but you can measure it out if you want to. Now I'm adding 1 packet of the mild chili seasoning. The Chili O brand has a really good seasoning too, but I'm just using what I have on hand. I also added 1.5 cups of shredded cheddar cheese and 3 cups of cooked chopped chicken, or cooked shredded chicken. You can do either or, whatever you prefer. Now you're going to stir that until it's very well combined. And those wonton cups are done now. I let them bake for 5 minutes. Now we're going to fill them all up. So you're just going to divide that mixture evenly into those 36 cups. And of course, I'm using my cookie scoop here to make it a little easier. And here I have all 36 filled up. Now these are going into the oven to bake at 350 for 10 to 12 minutes. You want to make sure all that cheese is melted and those wonton cups will be a little golden brown. These were absolutely delicious. I did have a couple to say that they would prefer a little more of that chicken mixture in there though. So next time I think I'll just make 24 instead of the 36. That way each of them will have a little more filling. Oh, and after they came out of the oven, I did top them with a little more shredded cheese just to make them look a little prettier. So this is my first time making the sausage Rotel dip with the cream cheese. I usually make it with Velveeta, so I was really excited to try it this way. In a large skillet, I'm browning up 1 pound of ground sausage. You're just going to break it up and cook it until it's completely cooked through. And then you can go ahead and use a paper towel to get rid of most of that grease. Next, I'm adding 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. Now, I forgot to let mine sit out, so I did pop mine in the microwave just to kind of soften it up a little more. Now I'm adding in a can of Rotel, and that is undrained. I'm using the mild kind, but you can use the hot if you prefer. And I just stirred it up and let it cook over medium-low heat until it was completely melted. This was so easy to make, but it was so good. I just served it with some Frito scoops, which is our favorite, but you can also serve it with the tortilla scoops. This is perfect if you need to make something quick and easy last minute. You'll have to let me know if you've tried this, and if you did, how did you like it?
I really hope you enjoyed this video. You may also like these. Don't forget to subscribe down below for more easy recipes, and I will see you in the next one.